On today's episode, we're going to be talking about my 2025 word of the year. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. As always, before we jump in, I want to just give a quick intro to Jane, the podcast sponsor. Jane is a clinic management software in EMR, and I have a quick message from them. Waiting on hold isn't anyone's idea of time well spent, especially when you're busy providing exceptional care to your patients and clients and running your clinic. The Jane team knows how valuable your time is, and that's why they work hard to keep call wait times to an average of 2 minutes. This means you can get quick answers to your clinic questions and head into your weekend with one less task on your to-do list. Plus, unlimited phone, email, and live chat support from their team of friendly humans is included in every Jane subscription. So no matter where you're at in your Jane journey, they're always there to lend a hand. To see how you can help take back your time, personal time that is, or clinic management time, head to the show notes. You can jump on the Meet Jane app link and you can book a one-on-one demo or use my code LEX1MO, that's LEX1MO, at sign up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new Jane account. And just so you know and are aware, one of the reasons I switched to Jane when I was running the practice is because of the customer service. So I can personally speak to the fact that their customer service is the best. As always, a huge thank you to Jane for sponsoring Up in My Business. Welcome to the 100th episode of Up in My Business. I cannot believe that I'm at episode 100. How exciting is that? The milestone feels a little crazy to me, only because that literally marks 100 weeks that I've been doing this. And I'm proud of myself. I didn't start the podcast until I knew that I could keep going, as Shantae always recommends. And I'm just so excited that I'm here for 100 episodes and just welcome. I'm recording this before we leave for celebrating Christmas with my family in New York. And just feeling super grateful. And I know that there are people who listen to this podcast every week, and thank you so much. It is my dream to end up, I know it sounds so crazy, but one of my dreams is that I would love to be on someone's Spotify Wrapped. And I always say that, I'm like, but you might not even listen to podcasts on Spotify, because I listen to podcasts on YouTube, on Apple Music sometimes Spotify, like I'm all over the place. But if you religiously listen to the podcast, thank you. I genuinely appreciate you. I had no idea where this would go when I started it. I feel like anybody who starts a podcast feels that way. And now I'm like, should I add video? So we'll see if I add video for episode 101, because I will be able to record that next week and I'll have time to do it. So I don't know. Stay tuned. We will see. But as always, we're going to start with life, business updates, life stuff. Everything is going great. Today was a really, really great day. I'm really excited to bring, by the time this launches, you will know, if you follow me on social media, that Moose is also coming to New York. So I'm excited to bring Moose to New York to see my family and her, my parents' dogs. She's very familiar with them. So excited to do that. I am also really looking forward to 2025 and my 2025 word of the year. And just taking a moment to celebrate my 2024 word as well in life and business and what have you. But life stuff, Moose, I'm looking at her right now. She's really upset because I have a biscuit on my desk and she hasn't gotten a piece. So I might give her a piece just because she's sitting there so good. Good girl. I just gave her a small piece. So she is hanging out here with me. And nothing really new to report. The weather has been really, really good in Southern California, and I really just can't complain. Business stuff is business stuff. You know, if you, like I said, if I've said this multiple times, but if you listen to the podcast, if you are privy to how I run my business, I am taking a vacation from essentially tonight. So it's Wednesday until January 3rd. So through that weekend. So my goal is to not have any live calls, no work scheduled in, and I'm just on vacation. So I'm recording this podcast episode. I have a few emails to catch up on, but other than that, my goal is to be off. And by off, I just mean like doing what I want to do with my time, meaning probably stuff in the business, if you will, or working on the business, as well as hanging with Moose and taking a break and resting. And I'm excited for that. On that note, I am booking into February at this point. I know like people were contacting me and saying like, is your earliest availability actually February? Yes. I say this with all of the love in my heart. I have a retainer model, and being a retainer client, obviously you get access to my time, or my retainer clients get access to my time first. So that model wouldn't really make sense if I had availability open for everyone tomorrow, right? So my retainer clients get first dibs access to me, and that time is set aside for them. So outside of retainer clients and LextraMind, I have very limited availability for one-off coaching calls. And that's just the way that my business is run. So yes, I am booking into February for Do-It-In-A-Days. I am also booking into February, pretty much into March as well. So just really excited for the new year and to do all the things, planning out SEO school launch, planning some big changes inside of SEO school. And yeah, I feel like that's really the big thing. I recorded a podcast episode as well yesterday with Annette Zapp, Fire Rescue Wellness. And we talked a lot about my history and working with her and how I'm getting where I am now, or how I'm doing the things that I'm doing now, and my story. So when that episode launches, it should be just in the new year. So the first Tuesday of the new year, that will probably drop. I believe it'll be the 2nd. I'm doing math in my head. It would be I don't know what date it is. Either way, that episode will drop with Annette's podcast, and it's one that I would recommend you listen to. Annette's a great host, and I was able to dive into, my challenges, the successes, and things that I didn't expect, and what have you. So enjoy it if you listen to it. If not, well, I will probably announce it on social media, so you'll see it there, but excited for that one to drop. And lastly, I'm sitting in this brand new desk chair. I have been using an Amazon special chair, probably like a $40 chair for the last 3 years. It's a terrible chair. Shantae has said it multiple times, like the chair is terrible. I need to change it. So I actually, by the advice of my accountant, she said what chair she was buying. And I said, amazing. Is that chair nice? Sure it is. So I ordered the chair. It came today, and it's very comfortable and nice. And I'm very happy. It is, if you want to look at, it's the Branch Ergonomic Pro. And it really is. It's got a lot of adjustments. It's very cool. So I kept the directions on this because there's a lot of little buttons on here that allow me to adjust it and move it in, move it out, move it up. So I'm really excited about that as well. It's so comfortable. I'm like sitting in it and I'm recording this podcast, and I could definitely sit in here. I also got a rocking chair for my office because I really love rocking chairs. I've always have. And I decided to treat myself to a rocking chair because I know that I enjoy the movement and I like it. So I bought one, and it is the best. I can sit in it, and my nervous system feels good. So I put it on Instagram, and so many people were like, me too. I love a rocking chair. I wish I had one. Go get one. It's so worth it for your sensory system. If that's how you find like nervous system calmness, like go get one. It's very worth it. So I put it in the office. It's helpful for me because now I can like essentially decompress and my nervous system is happy. I'm very happy with it overall. So I recommend it. I'm looking at my list. I had so many post ideas that I've came up with today, and I put them all in my notes so that I can post them like when I have the energy and the time, because I've just been really busy this week. And I'm really excited for that as well. But anyway, let's jump into the podcast episode 100. Welcome. I'm so happy about that. First and foremost, if you don't choose a word of the year, I didn't either until this year. So there's always time to start doing that. I will tell you that my word of the year this past year, 2024, was elevate. And the meaning of that for me was to notice the small details in life, which I don't think I really elevated that experience for myself in my personal life. I feel like I still missed out on like small details. So I'm going to try to work on that with this year's word, which I will discuss in a second. And I also chose in my business, the word elevate meant that I was going to take what I already had and make it better. And I really love what happened and where everything went this year. I updated all my intake forms. I bettered offers that I already had. I put offers onto the Better course platform instead of hosting them on Vimeo. I recorded a course module that needed to be re-recorded. I've added things to SEO School. I'm just really happy with all of the things. I've made a lot of my automated emails. I made a lot of my emails automated and I saved them as templates. I took my entire intake system and updated all of my contracts, all of my calls, my service brochure. I added essentially a service brochure / proposal where you can add things on. I made add-ons and upsells, and I had a really great year. I just want to say that if you worked with me and you were privy to the new process and the new intakes and proposals and what have you, I hope that it worked out for you. To me, and in my mind, it felt like everything was much more streamlined. A lot of things were as automated as they could be. So I wasn't like reinventing the wheel every single time I had to send an email out. And I was just felt like it worked really well. And now I'm set up with all of that stuff forever. So I loved it. I loved using that word as my baseline. And I'm looking at my list now. I had a list of like, these are the things that I want to make sure I do. And I actually checked off almost everything. I'm very, very happy with it because it has led to a lot of ease in my business and flow. And I just cannot complain. And I really, really loved that I chose the word elevate and what came out of it. Now, I had mentioned on the last episode that I was going to talk about my 2025 word and where it came from and my goals with it, what have you. So I will tell you that I went to Claude. So if you're using ChatGPT, it's the same thing. It's just AI software. So Claude. And I basically put in exactly what I want to feel, what I want to do, my goals. And I just said, choose a word of the year for me. It spit out a word. And then I said, what are words that are alternatives to this word? And why did you choose the first word over these words? And what it spit out was really, really good. So I will read that to you. But my word of the year is intentional. And the way that Claude worded it, it just said it captures the holistic journey of self-improvement that I was describing. And it implies a proactive and thoughtful approach to life. And I am setting a tone for the year of meaningful personal transformation, self-care, and purposeful growth. And obviously you want to make sure that there are action items behind it. So for me, last year or this year, it was elevate. And those action items were to make things that already existed inside my business better and add an elevated experience to that thing, right? So whatever that looked like, an example would be I book a do it in a day and now I send a thank you card to that person once I book a do it in a day. And that wasn't in existence prior to this year. And it was a great addition. So just elevating the experience as a whole. Now, when it comes to intentional, the action items that are on this list, I'm going to go through 4 of them. Number 1, deliberately choosing actions that support my mental and physical health, actively pursuing personal growth through therapy and self-reflection, consciously stepping outside of my comfort zone, purposefully improving communication and relationships, and making mindful decisions that align with my goals of becoming a better version of myself. So with that, some of the few things that are a few of the things that I plan on doing, and I'm going to hold myself to it because I'm putting it out into the ether and speaking it, number one, I've already started investing in therapy and coaching. So I'm doubling up, if you will. I'm doing therapy with a local provider and I'm going in person, and it was a referral from someone who is very, very trusted, and I'm loving it. It's great. Honestly, I've searched for a long time for someone that is good, and this person is really good. So I am very happy. I'm currently in therapy, and I mean, like I said, I have been searching forever for a therapist that was good and was, on their shit. And this person is just great and on her shit. And I am very, very happy to be in that process. And then I'm also in a coaching program one-on-one with a woman who you could also seek out. She does coaching across the country, but Mandy Jenkins is her name. And, I don't know her Instagram off the top of my head right now, and I'm going to look it up. Wholehearted Coaching. And I'm in a coaching program with her. I'm doing coaching with her because I am essentially just investing my resources into becoming a better version of myself and personal growth, what have you, building better relationships, better, more intentional with my relationships, intentional with the words that I use, intentional in my life. And I'm really hopeful especially after today, it would be, I've been going since the beginning of December, and I'm just really hopeful for the process. And then I'm also going to start, I'm like nervous to say this out loud because I don't know if I need to do it. I want to do it, but I'm going to start taking singing lessons. So Shantae and I actually met on our flight from Miami to LA. You never know who you're sitting next to on a plane, but I met this lovely guy and this lovely man, and he was talking about what he does for a living. And, he's a vocal coach and he works with top singers, yada, yada. And he was such a nice guy. His name is Steven. And, on the plane, we were just going back and forth before we took off about what he does and what we do. And he was just really, really great guy. And started talking about who he works with. And the long and the short is that he is actually Billie Eilish's vocal coach and has been her coach and then her brother's coach for forever, right? Or I say forever, since they were little. So I was like, I wanted to invest in coaching because I would love to be able to sing. I've always wanted to be able to sing. And honestly, doing vocal coaching can help me with my business as well because it helps with speaking. So right now when I speak for a long period of time, I have a sore throat, and you can kind of tell right now, the way that I use my voice and my mouth, I can project very well, but I do think that there is a way to make it so that I don't overuse my vocal cords. I don't know. But either way, I'm like, this is going to help business as well. So going to invest in vocal coaching for business improvements, but really it's personal. So I'm going to be doing a lot of, singing. I'm going to learn how to sing, but that does come down to how to use your mouth, your stomach, your air. Obviously it's oxygen, air. Oh, what a silly way to say that. But I'm really excited. So I DM'd him. I asked him when does his availability look like? So hopefully I will get that squared away by, the couple weeks into January. I'm going to reach out to him and see what happens, and we'll go from there. I am definitely excited for it. I have wanted to do this forever. It's up there with relearning how to play piano, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with the singing lessons. I'll keep you posted on that. But other than that, it's just a lot of personal goals and showing up in relationships and showing up in my life with a full body, saying it with my full chest, and just improving relationships as a whole. And ideally, I will also try to have more deeper relationships here with local folks, whether it's the volleyball crew or meeting new people. I'm not sure, but that's also a goal of mine. And obviously, when it comes to business, all of this stuff, when it comes to being intentional in my business, it's choosing to work with very specific people. It's choosing and not choosing to take on certain projects. It's am I going to build out this course or am I going to take this coaching call, this do it in a day? So I am going to be very intentional with what I'm choosing to take on and choosing to not take on. And I'm really excited for that opportunity. And I'm always going to come back to improving my life in general. And if it aligns with improving my relationships, then I will probably say yes, or improving my ability to relate to others, I will probably say yes. And if it doesn't and doesn't align with that value or align with being intentional and how I want to feel, then I'll say no. And I think it's a really good place to be. All right. I don't really have much more for you, and we're on 20 minutes in episode 100, and I don't want to drag it out longer than it has to be here. Know that by the time this episode launches, it will be December 22nd. Man, what day will it be? It will be December 23rd. So December 23rd, this will go out to you. And if you're listening on December 23rd, I hope you have a happy holiday season. I will still be releasing the podcast next week and the week after, and no breaks over here. So if you enjoy listening to the podcast the day it drops, you will get another episode next Monday. And whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or nothing at all, I hope you have a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all the things. And also Happy New Year, but I will be in here before that as well. So either way, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for every single listener. Thank you so much. And if you choose to choose a word of the year, I'd love to know what you choose. And if you have thoughts and feelings around mine, I'd also love to hear from you. And as always, if you feel like you have a podcast episode you'd love to hear about, then please just feel free to email me, send me a DM, whatever works for you. Alrighty, friends, thank you so much for listening to episode 100. I cannot believe I'm here already, and I just appreciate you so much. I appreciate every listen. I appreciate every person who takes time out of their day to listen to me ramble on here. And if you learn something from the podcast, I just thank you. I really love this medium for people who, want to learn quick little things, and I also value hearing someone's voice. So for people who feel like they're closer to me because they listen to this and just hearing the same things that I say on Instagram with my voice, I know that there are people who say it's great, and I truly cannot express my appreciation enough. All right, Moose is giving me the look. She's like, Mom, are you done yet? Or can I have another biscuit? That's what she's thinking. All right, friends. Have a lovely holiday season. I will catch you next week. Again, thank you so much. Cheers to 100.